Emotions are our greatest ally and our worst enemy. Last time we learned that changing our physiology will help us to change our emotions. This time we're going to learn a new way to change our emotions. This time we're going to learn about focus. So stay tuned to Distinctions for Life. Have you ever gone to a party with a bunch of friends and you thought it was the lamest party ever? And then like the next day you're talking to your friends about the party and one of them says it was the greatest party they had ever been to. And you're like, did we go to the same party? That party was completely lame. I hated that party. Well, the difference between their experience of the party and your experience of the party was what they were focused on. Maybe your friend spent all evening discussing politics with their buddies, or they had a deep discussion with a cute girl. And so for them, the party was exciting. But for you, you spent most of your time thinking about how lame it was and wondering what someone else was going to do to spice things up. You see, the difference was what you were focused on. They were focused on good stuff, and you were focused on bad stuff. In life, there's a lot of things competing for our attention. Matter of fact, our brains are getting input all the time, just input about everything that's going on around them. And we have to eliminate some of that input. We can't just have everything going on forever. So we eliminate stuff. The problem with that is that our focus sometimes gets focused on the wrong thing. See, when we eliminate stuff, we unconsciously eliminate that stuff. If we can consciously eliminate stuff that's not interesting, that's boring, then maybe we can make our focus on something that's good and exciting. Now, sometimes you're not going to have a whole lot of choice about what you focus on. A trip to the emergency room, it's going to be hard to focus on the fun stuff that is part of a trip to the emergency room. But that exception just kind of proves the rule, because that shows us that there are a lot of times where we can choose what we focus on, and what we focus on will make a big difference in how we feel about things. So when you go to a party the next time, look around and try and find the points of focus that'll be the most interesting to you. Find someone who's interesting to talk to. Just start talking to people and then determine who's interesting and who's not. Don't just assume that who is interesting and who's not. So that's our distinction for today. The power of focus. Focusing on the good things changes the way you feel. Focusing on the bad things changes the way you feel. So choose your focus. So our action step for this episode is, next time you're feeling down, ask yourself what you're focused on. Are you focused on what's going wrong in your life right now? Instead, focus on what's going right in your life right now. And that will change how you feel. Next time you go to a party and it seems boring, look around, widen your attention, see if you can find people who are enjoying the party, and go over and join them and find out what it is that they're focused on. So give all this a try and come back to the website distinctionsforlife.tv and comment telling us how it worked for you. Just like last time, I learned most of this stuff about emotions from Tony Robbins and from his work. So I'm going to recap again the resources that I would recommend to you if you want to learn more about controlling your emotions from Tony Robbins. The first and most basic level is books. I'd suggest you start with Personal Power. That's where this material came from. After that, there are his audio programs, the big one being Personal Power, the slightly smaller one being The Edge. The Edge is 10 to 14 days, Personal Power is 30 days. You can invest in either one of those and it'll make a big transformation in your life. A lot of distinctions in that material. Or you can just invest big time and you can dive right in and you can go to one of his workshops. I went to what was called Fear into Power, and now it's called something else, but there was a weekend workshop, and that's his Firewalk workshop, where you get to walk on fire, which at least gives you a really good story. So those are the three things. If you're interested in knowing more about them, there's a resource page on our website. Come to the distinctionsforlife.tv website and subscribe to our email list. Being on our email list will get you special resources and allow you to be one of the first people to see each episode of Distinctions for Life. If you're watching this on a video site, please rate our video and subscribe. Thank you, and until next time, live life to the fullest.